What's going on, guys? So here in this box is a pretty large GameCube bundle that I bought from Goodwill. And if you're not familiar, Goodwill actually has an auction site, kind of like eBay online, where you can bid on stuff. And obviously I bid on it, won it. I paid $506 for this, which is pretty steep. I may have overpaid for it, but it is a nice bundle. Comes with a GameCube, 4 controllers, and like 9 or 10 games that are pretty solid games. I don't think it'll be too bad as long as the games work. Now, that's the thing with Goodwill, is a lot of the listings are as is, and that's what this one listed, but it did show the console working. So I have some faith. The games didn't look like in bad condition or anything. But let's go ahead and take a look at this box, which is one thing I like to do. And I do have some concerns. I mean, first of all, this box looks a little bit janky on the top. This right here is my doing. I crossed out the eBay shipping label, or I crossed out the shipping label for obvious reasons. Now on this side, it's already kind of squished in a bit, which is concerning. Now the really concerning side is right here. Squishes in a lot, and it's actually already open on part of it. So that's definitely a cause for concern. Now the rest of the sides are basically the same. They all squish in a little bit, but at least they're not ripped open. So let's go ahead and start slicing this thing open, and hopefully everything comes in good condition. Alright, so I got the top layer sliced open. Let's go ahead and do the big reveal so see what we got in here. Alright, so we got some bubble wrap on top. I will be honest, the other Goodwills I bought from so far have packaged really well. This one seems to be kind of middle of the road. They did put some bubble wrap on top, but as you saw, the side of the box is just like destroyed over here, which is definitely a cause for concern. But let's go ahead and pull all these items out, see what we have. So I guess they wrapped all the controllers and the console in the actual bubble wrap, which is good to see. That helps things out a little bit. But they didn't wrap any of the cords, which is not a big deal. Cords don't really get damaged that easily. And they did not wrap any of the games, but the games actually looked like they came decently, didn't get smashed up or anything. So let me go ahead and take all this stuff out of the box, and we'll take a look at everything. Alright guys, so as you can see, I got a pile of random stuff here. I've got the console and controllers. And let's go ahead and take a look at the power cables first, just kind of get that out of the way. So first of all, pretty straightforward, just a GameCube power cable, nothing special. And then we actually have more cables than I was expecting, so I'm not sure if some of these cables are not meant for the GameCube or what, but we actually have just basically an adapter. It's just AV cables to AV cables, not sure why that's in there. We got this cable right here, which is the AV cable for the GameCube, so that's good to see. And then I'm not actually sure what this is right here. Oh, that's definitely not for the GameCube, I don't think. And I don't think these are for the GameCube either. Not sure how those all got in there. I'm sure somebody just donated a pile of random stuff and they assumed it all went with the GameCube. So next up, I think we'll actually take a look at the games. So, like I said, it's a pretty nice bundle, which means we got good games. So let's see. So here's the first game, Extreme G Racing. Never heard of it, but I will be honest, I went through and looked up all the games that were in the pictures and searched on eBay, just kind of get a rough idea of the price. So when I go through these games, I'll throw up a price on the screen. It's kind of like an average price you can sell it for on eBay. But one thing I've definitely found out is that GameCube games really hold their value. I guess it's just Nintendo games in general, but even these games I don't know about are worth a good bit. So we got the game, got the instruction manual, the disc, and take a glance at it. That one, I doubt you can see on the screen, but there's not really any scratches on there, which is a good sign. And so next up, we got a case that has no artwork or anything, so let's see what's in here. We got Madden 02, probably the least valuable of all the games, I would assume. Still looks pretty good though, kind of dusty, but not bad. Now here we got Metroid Prime. Funny to see it was used for $20 from GameStop. Who knows when that was for, but it's nice that we have the disc, the actual case with the artwork. We got the manuals. Oh, and this one actually has a memory card, so that's good to see. Now let's check out the disc, make sure it doesn't have too many scratches or anything. And yeah, I mean so far all the discs look good. So number 4, we got The Incredibles. Incredibles is actually a game I used to play on the PS2 back in the day. And yeah, again we have the manual, the disc, the case, and the artwork. Good to see. Everything looks to be in good condition so far. We got Luigi's Mansion, another good one. The OG, you got your instruction manual. You got your game with no scratches. So this is what I was hoping for. When I looked at the pictures, everything looked to be in good condition, which is what I was hoping would actually happen. So 007, Agent Under Fire. Got your artwork, your manual, your disc. No scratches. Like I said, guys, pretty solid bundle, especially for Goodwill. I can't imagine somebody just tossing all this stuff to Goodwill. It's kind of wild, but I mean, a lot of people don't know what they're sitting on. So we got Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I've never heard of this, but I'm pretty sure I looked this up and it was worth a lot. Obviously, it was $24.99 at some point from GameStop. It's crazy to think how much these things go up in value. So this one does not have a manual, but it has the game and the artwork, obviously. I do see a few scratches on there, but again, doesn't look bad. And here's one of your true classics, the Super Smash Bros. Melee. Well, unfortunately, we don't have the manual here, but we got the disc and the artwork in the case and everything, so the disc looks good. It's a good sign. And then we also have the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. No manual, but you got your disc, and the disc looks good as well. So next up, let's take a look at these controllers. So it looks like we got 4 controllers, 2 wrapped up in each bundle of bubble wrap. Alright, so here's the first 2 controllers. You got an indigo purple controller, and you got a black controller. We'll start with the purple controller. Everything looks good. The C-stick is a little bit dirty, and you got some dirt down here as well, but actually this thing looks really nice. The buttons all click. Everything seems to be in really good condition so far, especially for how old this console is. You even got all the cables wrapped up. That's pretty nice. And then here's the black controller. This one looks good as well. The top does seem to be a bit sticky, but we can wipe that down pretty easily. The B button seems a little, The B button seems a little bit questionable. I'm not sure if you're getting a press right there or not. There's not really a click happening there. The triggers seem okay. Y, X, and A seem okay. B is a bit questionable. Might have to open up the controller and check that out. So like I said, we have 4 total controllers, so we got 2 more to look at. We have another indigo purple, and this one looks good as well. The B button here isn't clicking as hard either. Maybe that's just a GameCube thing. I'm not sure. I've played GameCube plenty, but I didn't grow up with it. One thing that's interesting here is the back of the controller is actually clear. My guess is that somebody just combined 2 different controllers, a purple controller and a clear controller. It does seem to have some like official Nintendo branding and stuff on the back, but I don't remember Nintendo ever having a clear controller for the GameCube. But like I said, I'm not super well versed in the GameCube. I had a PS2 in this generation, but I will look that up and see what we got going on here. And then finally, we got an orange controller, which looks nice as well. Buttons seem to be nice and clicky. No issues there. And yeah, cool. And of course, last but not least, we got our console here. So let's go ahead and take this bubble wrap off and see what we got inside. Alright guys, so here's the console, and it looks pretty nice on top. We do have some dust and dirt embedded in these engraved, like power, reset, open, and it's Nintendo here. But you can definitely clean that out. Opens up. Oh. The open button seems to stick. I bet that's not too hard to fix though. Got our power button, seems to work. Reset button seems to work. Overall, it doesn't look bad on the top. We got a decent number of scratches on this gloss portion, but it's pretty hard to avoid scratches on a surface like this, especially on a console that's 15 plus years old. Of course, you got your 4 ports in the front. Looks pretty good. Slot A, slot B. Got some scuffs on here that we can probably wipe off. Left side looks okay. Again, you got some scuffs and stuff. That should be able to be wiped off pretty easily. On the back, you got your power, digital AV out, and your analog AV out. So maybe that's what the 2 cords were for. One is digital, one is analog. On this side, again, you got a vent. Looks pretty good. Then on the bottom, you got a bunch of different slots. So I'm not sure what each of these slots does, but I do recall that there is a Game Boy add-on that you can plug into the bottom and play Game Boy games on your GameCube, which is pretty sweet. I'm going to have to pick one of those up because I don't have one. But I don't remember if it uses all of these ports on the bottom or if some of these ports are for other things. But it's kind of cool, kind of wild that a lot of these old consoles have all these ports that nobody ever uses or very seldom uses. I mean, obviously it was used for the Game Boy player and probably some other things, but it's just kind of cool how they add in these little, I don't want to call them Easter eggs, but You know, just these random ports on the bottom of the console that you know any normal kid would probably never know about unless they were really snooping around on the bottom of the console. But one thing I just saw, this was made in 2001. I thought it was a little bit later than that, but 2001 makes sense. So this console is actually about 20 years old. But yeah, let's go ahead and plug this console into my TV, and we'll make sure it works. Alright guys, so I got everything plugged in, power cable, AV cable, also plugged in my 4 controllers, 2 indigo, 1 orange, 1 black. Got my 9 games, and also plugged in the memory card. Let's go ahead and boot this thing up and hope it works. So, 3, 2, 1. We got an orange light, that's a good sign. That's what I saw in the pictures. And boom. That was quick. So it says system settings were lost, calendar and other settings were reset. Okay, sure. I'll press no. Whoops. Alright, cool. So, okay, there we go. Alright, I'm controlling it with this controller. For some reason, I just wasn't flipping things in the right direction to start with. Oh, that might be an issue. I think this controller is messed up. Maybe I have too many controllers plugged in. I'm guessing one of them is making it automatically go to the side because I go this way. Oh, nope. It's definitely controller 1. Well, that's annoying. Let's go ahead and try this controller and hopefully it'll work a little better. There we go. So now we're not going to the side automatically. So we got some like drifting going on here. I'll have to try to figure that out. That's not great. That's not ideal. Alright, so we got options, gameplay, calendar. Alright, so we got our memory card. Let's take a look here. So memory card, we got Star Fox Adventures, a lot of different stuff. It's actually mostly games that are not in the stack of games. So I wonder if this stack of games is split up from the original owner, compared to where this memory card came from. Gameplay, calendar. So it thinks it's 2108. Oh well, doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and open this slot up and try out our games. So we'll start with Metroid Prime just because. And this is actually the case that came with the memory card. But I don't think I saw a Metroid Prime save on there, which is interesting. And the other interesting thing to remember is that this first controller right here was definitely having issues. I couldn't go to this, or it was automatically going to the side is what it was doing. So Metroid Prime 2002. Let's go ahead and see if this thing boots up. Alright, so we're moving pretty quickly. Good sign. Alright, so booted up pretty quickly. Seems to be working, which is a good sign, obviously. We like when games work. I'm not too surprised. I mean, the pretty much all the games looks good without too many scratches, which is a nice change of pace. Most games I buy have a lot of scratches on them, which is really annoying. So it's good to see a game without scratches. And here we go. We're starting up the game now. I've never actually played Metroid Prime, which is probably embarrassing. A lot of people on here are going to comment that I'm not a cultured man. To be honest, I think I've seen enough. Seems to be working. I don't have time to in this video to test out every game for an hour or whatever. But let's go ahead and pull this game back. Try to keep it from getting any scratches on it. And next up, I guess we'll try Luigi's Mansion since it's right there. Another good game. I never actually played Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, but I have played the latest Luigi's Mansion. Oh, so there's that button that's messing up. I have played the latest Luigi's Mansion, which is the one on the Switch. Pretty fun game. I haven't beaten it yet, but fun game. And let's press start. Luigi won a haunted mansion, and Mario is trapped inside. You have to find him. It's actually kind of cool that they give you a little blurb about what the game is about. And I didn't realize how fast the GameCube boots up. I mean, it's on the home screen in 5 seconds. That's impressive. And it looks like they already used a save file in here, so we'll go ahead and go with that one. So I guess we'll go to the mansion real quick. But like I said, pretty impressed with how quickly it's booted up. That's like PS5 and Xbox Series X level boot up levels. And the graphics are pretty solid too. Like, I'm not trying to diss the Switch, but these are not far off of the Switch graphics. Which, to be honest, Nintendo's forte is never graphics, so they've already, as soon as they came out with 3D graphics, you know, they were just marginal improvements. Obviously, the Switch has much better graphics than the Nintendo 64, but I think you get what I'm saying. It's not like the jump from, you know, Xbox 360 to Xbox Series X or anything, but it does seem to be working. So let's go ahead and eject that one. Open up the disc slot. All right, so next we got The Incredibles, and like I mentioned earlier, this is a game I actually played a lot of on the PS2. Should be pretty much the same exact game on the GameCube. And so we're reading the disc now. And I wonder if it'll automatically boot up to it now, since we're already on this page. And of course it's telling me it's not Luigi's Mansion, which I already know. I just went ahead and pressed the reset button. And we're back on the home screen now. Alright, so again, it booted up pretty quickly. Incredibles. New game. I don't remember this game in detail, but I remember it being a really fun game. I'm not sure if it's just because I was obsessed with Incredibles because I was a kid, or if it was just actually a good game. I do remember this bank heist. First mission, I think you're like on a roof. I don't know if you're on a rooftop or not, but I do remember it being a fun game. And I was correct. You're definitely on a rooftop to start off. So I do have some memories of this game, but obviously it's working. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. 3 games down. All 3 seem to work. For this next one, I'll probably try out a different controller just to so we can test all of the controllers. This one, again, was the mystery game, which I already forgot what it was. Madden 02, that's what it was. I actually like the old Madden games better than the newer ones. I think a lot of people could say that. Probably just the nostalgia factor as well. So let's try to take out this controller. We'll try the black controller. The best game to try out all these controllers is probably Super Smash Bros. Because you have to use like every single button in that game. Alright, here we are again. Booting up, got some Ray Lewis, some Kurt Warner, Madden 2002. So there we go. Not gonna get too far into this, but obviously it looks like it's working. So sweet. I do have some good memories of the GameCube. Like I said, I didn't play GameCube. It wasn't my console of choice, so I didn't have a GameCube when I was a kid. But I did play it a lot at some friend's house, or a few different friends' houses. So I did play it. But yeah. Alright, next up we got this Extreme G Racing. Try this out. And so while we're waiting for that to load, I just wanted to test out the B button on this controller because it's one of the ones where the B button seemed to be a little bit finicky. But it does seem to work. I click on calendar and then press B, and it backs out, but it doesn't click. You just have to push it down, but it seems to work. I don't know, kind of odd. I'll probably have to open up the controller and try to clean it out and get it to work a little bit better. Alright guys, so here it is, booted up pretty quickly. Might have actually booted up the fastest of all the games so far. Seems to just be like a futuristic motorcycle racing game. I know there used to be like a ton of racing games back in the day. I mean, there used to be a ton of games on all kinds of different concepts back in like the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox days, just because there were so many different publishers making games. A lot of competition back then. Doesn't seem to be quite as much competition nowadays, especially with all the AAA titles seem to be monopolized. Like if you think about EA Sports and 2K Sports and stuff, they completely monopolized the sports industries. There's just not a whole lot of competition like there used to be with like NBA Live, NBA 2K, stuff like that. Just a quick example. But here's Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. So here's Lord of the Rings. Seems to be working. Unsurprisingly, it's got like a movie kind of intro. So I haven't actually played anything yet. I'm just like watching this thing. But I'm just going to assume it works further than that because I don't want to wait for the whole movie intro kind of thing. I guess I have to wait longer after I press the reset button before I open up the disc tray. Because it hasn't really liked when I've done that in a couple games. But next up we got the classic Super Smash Bros. Melee. I know this is a fan favorite. I mean, people still play this game like religiously with tournaments and stuff. Definitely a fun game though. Now, like I said, this is a good game to try out all the controllers since it's a pretty well-known 4-player game. So here we go, got Super Smash Bros. Melee. Nintendo's All-Stars are ready to do battle. Let the melee begin. Alright, so here we go. Booted up pretty quickly. And like I said, good game to try out all 4 controllers. So I got all 4 plugged in. Let's go ahead and go to versus mode. Do melee. And we should have all 4 players here now, so we can test out this controller. Seems to work. The third player one, analog stick works. And it looks like it works there as well. Now I'm not sure about, so this first controller right here is the one that had the issue where I tried to go to the right and then when it would automatically go back to the left. But it doesn't seem to have that issue here, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it was an issue with the D-pad, because the D-pad doesn't do anything on melee. But I mean, I also want to test out the B button with this one, because the B button had some issues. So I pressed A on that button, or pressed A on Yoshi, pressed B and it backs out. So the B button on these two controllers seems to be a little bit soft, but it seems to work. Maybe that's just a GameCube thing. I'm not sure, but all the main controllers seem to work. Gonna be kind of hard for me to test out all of the triggers and stuff on this video, but so far so good. And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to complain about, especially when that loaded really quick. It's hard to complain when everything was listed as is. But I mean, everything seems to work fine. So let's go ahead and reset this game. I thought when I reset it would go like all the way back to the home menu, but maybe that's what my issue was. I was trying to reset and it would actually, instead of going back to the home menu, it would actually just reset to the first of the game, which is not exactly what I was trying to do. So there we go. Got 2 more games left now. We got this Gauntlet Dark Legacy, and let's see if this game works. And my main issue so far is that this open button is stuck, or gets stuck a lot. But I know I've mentioned it a lot so far in this video, but I am impressed how quickly this GameCube loads up games. Alright guys, so it's booting up. Kind of got a little intro and stuff. Creating our save file. Press OK. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice having a memory card in here so I don't have to tell it not to save on every game. I'm a sorceress named Justin. I don't know what I'm doing, but alright, so that game seems to be working. We got one more left to try, and I did it again where I did the reset and then ejected the disc. Whoops. Got one more left. We got 007, not 007. What am I talking about? 007. Alright guys, so here we go. 007, James Bond, Agent Under Fire. And yeah, let's go ahead and start. And you know, like 15 seconds later, we're already in a game. And these graphics actually don't look too bad. But yeah, that was the final game. Seemed to work fine as well. Obviously, I don't test these games out for a significant amount of time on these videos, but I don't really have enough time on these videos to do a long test of these games. But I am impressed. You know, I got, like I said, or like you saw, we got 9 games here. They all work. We got 4 controllers. All 4 controllers seem to work. A couple of the B buttons were a little bit iffy, but I tested those out and they seem to work. I guess the only questionable part is this right here, how I'd go to the side and then it would automatically go back to the left, but it's actually not doing it now, so maybe I just had to unplug it and replug it back in. I do remember that being a thing back in the day. If you unplug your controller and plug it back in, it would stop some of those issues. But yeah, I mean, everything seems to work great, which is really lucky on my part. I mean, I took a huge gamble on this console here, since I paid $506 for it with the GameCube, 4 controllers, and these 9 games. You know, I think I break even or even come out ahead just because of the value of some of these games and these controllers. I mean, just the console and controllers itself are like, I don't know, $300 or $400 on eBay. I'll throw up a link on the screen or throw up a picture on the screen if I find actually a good example. But I mean, these things don't go for cheap. I mean, consoles nowadays are pretty expensive, especially nostalgic consoles like GameCubes and stuff. And GameCube games in general go for expensive, and have for a while now. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content and want to see some more in the future. And definitely go down in the comments and let me know what else I should buy from Goodwill. If you haven't checked out the Goodwill auction site yet, I highly recommend it. They got tons of different video games and stuff. It is kind of risky because a lot of it is as is. But if you search around a lot, you can find some gems, just like I did here. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.